Hey, what's up, peeps, freaks, and geeks? And this is your boy Rant and Rave Infection. Now, I want to ask y'all guys a question. What are some of your video game horror stories concerning your video game consoles? You know, have you ever had a console and it broke down? For some reason, some of the worst stories that you have about your video games and, your consoles being broken or taken apart or whatever. So I want to hear some of y'all stories, and I'm here to give some of mine. Let's begin. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, come on. Just one more hit. Come on, baby. I'm about to finish this level. I'm about to get to the final one. Oh, my God. Damn, this stupid boss. Oh, God. Oh no. No, not there. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Here we go. No. So close. No. Oh, crap. You stupid game. Alright. Okay, well, I've owned several consoles in my day, and unfortunately, some of them got fucked up so bad that I can't play them anymore. My first system was a Super Nintendo. Well, actually, it was the Game Boy, but my first home console was a Super NES. And I enjoyed the Super Nintendo. I played so many great games on it. Super Mario World, Super Mario RPG, Killer Instinct, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, all the amazing games, man. And I played that thing so much, you know what I'm saying? And it's so unfortunate that just one day it just stopped working. Can you believe that? Can you imagine turning on your console? If you have a 360 or a PS3 or whatever console you got, just turning it on. And all of a sudden, it doesn't work anymore. It's just busted. The games won't work. It won't turn on. It's just effed up, man. And that's what happened with my Super Nintendo. I don't know what the hell happened to it. I think it was maybe because of a cartridge that I owned. Maybe Street Fighter 2 Turbo. The copy that I own of Street Fighter 2 Turbo, I bought it from a from an elementary friend. And this guy is like a smoker, you know what I'm saying? He was smoking when he was like 11 years old. And so when he sold me the game, I swear to God, even the cartridge of the Street Fighter 2 Turbo, it smelled of smoke, it had that cigarette smell to it, like cigarette burn. So I don't know how it affected the cartridge, but not too soon after I started playing Turbo on my SNES, next thing you know, the SNES won't work anymore. It's busted, man. The cartridge, every time you push the cartridge thing, it doesn't work anymore, unfortunately. So that gotta be sad, man. Holy crap, man. That was so, it was such a sad day, I never expected it to F up, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like a totally old copy, it wasn't a totally old console, you know what I'm saying? It was just really sad, but fortunately, I got an N64, not too long after that. I don't know, actually, I don't know the time spans between the two, but I got an N64, so eventually I got over the Super Nintendo, the loss of the Super Nintendo, you know what I'm saying? But I still got all my games, you know what I'm saying? I still got some of my favorite games, and I still got them, you know what I'm saying? So it's just nice to have them, to keep those games. But I don't know what happened with the Super Nintendo. I think my mom's took it away, I think she threw it away or some shit, because it doesn't work anymore. So what the hell's the point of holding on to the fucking thing? But holy crap, man. I also, my first ever console, my first ever handheld was the Game Boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the original Game Boy. The one that was like 8 pounds, you know what I'm saying? Like 8 inches big, you know what I'm saying? I had the one that was colored black, not the classic gray one, but I had the black one. But it was, that was a great... I still got it, and it still works fine. That's what's amazing. I've had the thing for, my God, for years, and ever... I was a little kid, man. I must have been like, Jesus, 9 years old when I first got a Game Boy. And I'm 21 now, so I've had it for so long, and it still works fine, man. That's what I love about it. It's so durable, though. That's the thing, man. It's just... I'll tell you how durable that motherfucking thing is. Here's some of the worst thing that's ever happened to the freaking to my Game Boy, man. Uh, I remember one time, you know, because we never had a lot of batteries, you know, we never had like new batteries, so I always mixed and matched batteries. You're not supposed to do this because I mean, the batteries can leak or even worse, explode. And that's exactly what happened to me, man. Just one day, I had a bunch of mixed batteries inside my Game Boy, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm playing my Game Boy. I was probably playing like Kirby or something, Kirby's Dream Land. All of a sudden, man, I hear this loud exploding noise, like pop, pop. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the hell was that? And I kind of look around. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? You know what I'm saying? I thought it came from outside, but you know, even my mom, who was, you know, she was like in the kitchen, you know, in another room. She comes inside the room and she's like, "What the hell was that noise?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And so I finished playing the Game Boy, and all of a sudden, I noticed this like white kind of icky, like sticky kind of feeling in my hand. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, I'm holding a Game Boy, and I turn the Game Boy around. I flip it open, and I take open, you know, I take open the casing thing that holds the batteries, and like all this like white gunk and like all this like battery acid like leaking out of it. It's like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's what exploded. I was like, holy crap. But what's dope was the Game Boy still worked, man. It was still working. I was like, oh shit, you know, this is tight, you know what I'm saying? I was just glad the Game Boy it never got permanently damaged, man. I mean, it smelled of battery acid after that, and there was all this like white, you know, gunk, you know, because of the leakage, and it was all like nasty. But you know, eventually like scraped it off, you know. But I mean, it was pretty awesome, man. It was pretty cool that. Actually, now that I look back on it, I don't think when the thing exploded, I don't think it kept. The Game Boy must have turned off. It should have turned off. You know, I doubt that it would have kept working. So it probably shut off. You know, when I heard the explosion, the popping sound, and I was like, what the hell was that popping sound? And then I must have looked at the Game Boy screen, and it was blank. So you know, I flipped it around because the battery was messed up. So that's one story. And here's another story. I must have dropped the Game Boy at least twice on the ground. One time on the freaking concrete, like, you know, in the freaking sidewalk or, yeah. And oh my god, man, I got so worried, man. I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck happened to the Game Boy? But it still worked, man. It still worked. And another time, I was coming home from a friend's house, and I was walking to my house, and the fucking Game Boy, I was like kind of running along, and the Game Boy, like, because it was in my pocket, it kind of like, you know, popped out of my pocket as I was like kind of jogging, and so it fell and it landed, thankfully, on the grass. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a concrete this time. But it was still kind of hard dirt. You know what I'm saying? It was the kind of you know, a front lawn kind of dirt that's kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? It's got like small grass. But, you know, it bounced off that, man. And I was like, oh, shit, my Game Boy is definitely fucked up now. But lo and behold, you know, my Game Boy still works fine, man. It still works fine. No problems with it, man. It's such a it's so durable, man. Holy smokes. I bet you all these handhelds now, all these fucking, like, you know what I'm saying, PSP and the DS, you know what I'm saying, they couldn't fucking last. You know what I'm saying? So the original Game Boy was awesome, man. It's such a durable little, like, handheld, man. That's... There's a reason why the Game Boy was far more successful than the Game Gear, people. And it's not just because of their library of games. The Game Gear was just a pile of crap, honestly. Well, I guess the Game Gear wasn't horrible, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, I remember playing Mortal Kombat 2 in the Game Gear, and that was decent. Alright, so other stories, man. Yeah, my Super Nintendo got busted permanently. That was disappointing. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, you know, no, I guess non-related consoles. I had a couple of computers fucking up, man. But I mean, computers fuck up all the time, I guess. So, you know, I guess that's not as big of a deal. So, I don't know. I mean, all you 360 heads, man. I feel bad for all the 360 owners who had their fucking 360 fucked up, man. That's sad, man. You know what I'm saying? Guys like Silent Rob who had to go through like 8 different consoles. That is a that's a scam, man. I see that as a scam. I'm sorry, man. I'm not, you know, dissing the 360 itself, but I'm dissing Microsoft, man. Microsoft totally fucked up. You know, they released systems that was fucked up to begin with, so that people, you know, they'll scam people out of their money. And so they'll spend so much money on like fixing and getting a new one, and so it's kind of fucked up, man. It's kind of whack that, you know, they would rush out a system like that, and it's just, I mean, you would never hear of stories like that. I mean, that's not true, but I mean, you know,